Welcome, one and all, to a podcast known as the one and only Straw Hat Crusaders. My name is Clayton Chalman, and to my left is
Hayden Hartrick.
And to my right is
Adriana.
I tricked you. And across the table from me,
Josh.
You did trick me.
wow.
Josh was in a bad mood today.
Angry Josh.
And I think you know why, Clayton.
Josh is in two things right now, a bad mood and a turtleneck. Hey guys, welcome to Straw Hat Crusaders. This is a podcast where we do something a little interesting. We do it's a podcast where we talk about two things, usually. We usually talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and One Piece. But today, JoJo got kicked to the curb. We're talking about the more important One Piece, the most influential manga of all time, many have said.
Believe me, they tell me. I was about to do a fucking
Whoa.
Trump impression.
You were about to.
I'm hearing this for the first. I can't do it at all.
They tell me. Hey, I'm Donald Trump.
Oh man.
Straw Hat Luffy.
Wow, just a bunch of perfect, immaculate Donald Trump impressions sitting at a table right now. This
Thank
is
you.
great.
Thank you.
I'm actually really excited about this episode.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
But before we get to the candy today, we gotta eat our veggies. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we hate this part.
Yeah, I hate hearing what my friends have been up to.
I'm eating soup right now.
Hayden's eating
Hayden's
soup.
I'm
eating
some
soup.
I'm not eating soup.
This is my first meal of the day. It's approximately 5 p.m. and it is my first meal of the day. I got a soup. I got some Sprite. I got some root beers in the fridge. I got fancy new root beers from Costco.
Whoa.
He's
I
just
got
telling
a
us what's
Costco
in his
card.
fridge now.
I got a Costco card for Christmas.
That you
and,
keep in the fridge.
Yeah, I keep it in the fridge. I like it chilly, so I can kind of put it between my fingers and feel something.
Oh man.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been to Costco 3 times this week.
You're a rich man.
No, I just go. I'm a poor man, and they have cheap hot dogs.
From where I'm standing.
Where it's $1.50.
You know what
for a hot
Hayden
dog.
did? You know what Hayden did like 10 minutes ago before this podcast?
What?
He walked up to me with a soup can.
Uh-huh.
Or he walked up next to me. He was looking at something else, and then he looked at me and he was like, "Soup." But he had just opened the soup can, and he was like, "Soup," and he started like shaking it, and soup immediately started spilling out of the can onto the floor.
Oh man. Why'd you do that?
Why?
I didn't do that. Josh is exaggerating.
You didn't do that. You're saying you didn't do that.
I opened a can of soup. I popped the tab, so it just was one open, and I was gesturing to Josh, and I just kind of let my wrist go a little bit further than I thought. I wasn't shaking it, and it wasn't fully open, and just a little bit of soup got on the floor, and I cleaned it up immediately. I could hear that.
Yeah. I had to remove the mic from the stand.
Had to remove the microphone from the stand.
We forgive you, Hayden, for all that. Whatever we were
Wow.
just talking about.
That was
Yeah.
a fascinating week, though. Costco and soup shenanigans.
Yeah, we also had a big show this week.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yes.
Feels like a billion years ago.
Yeah,
for some
right.
reason.
But it was only a few days. Yeah. We sold out our first ever show.
We
It was
sold
crazy.
out
Sold
a show.
Out at
Yeah.
a small
Pretty
theater.
cool. Small theater.
About 70
No, wasn't there like
70-something
50
seats.
tickets that were sold? Yes.
Like,
64, I think, after
60.
everything. But we don't got to get into numbers.
Right.
Bleep that,
Yeah.
Clayton. Don't let people know how many people were there.
No, but I'm gonna bleep you telling me to bleep it because
Yeah.
you can't tell me what. to
I was
do.
in the audience. I was like, ha ha. I laughed.
True.
That's true.
I
I
saw
did
it happen.
laugh.
Josh, how are you?
Pretty good. My birthday was this week. My real
Woo!
birthday.
How old are you, Josh?
I'm still in my early-ish 20s. I'm 24.
Wow.
But some would say some people who are just like stupid would say that that's like mid 20s. I would say I don't care.
Can it be both?
It
Can it be
kinda
like
is.
in the
Yeah.
early and the mid?
Yeah.
I'm still in my 20s. Time marches on. Who gives a fuck? I don't give a shit.
I'm in the very early part of the second half of my 20s. You know what? I always think about my friends, that the ones that I meet latest. I always make them younger in my head. And so because I met y'all later than most of the people like in Doghouse, I always think y'all are both younger. But y'all are both older than Hayden. Hayden's the littlest boy on this podcast.
A tiny little baby.
That's why he's the shortest
man.
one. That's why he's the shortest one.
He's the shortest
He's a
little
little
baby.
To me, it's just vibes. It doesn't matter when I meet them, but some people just seem older, younger.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on vibes, how
Based
would you
on
rank
vibes.
us?
I think Clayton definitely seems the oldest, and Hayden, I think you seem about our age. Like
You always seem. I always forget that you're a little younger than me.
Yeah, my bad.
But I feel younger than I actually am, so I guess that means you feel technically older than me a little bit, because I don't feel 24.
Interesting.
You
Yeah.
seem 24.
I'm not
I
even
think.
23
Do you
yet.
think I seem 24?
Yeah.
It's
It's a meaningless conversation.
Oh, nope. Podcast is still recording. That's good.
Unfortunately.
I was shocked when I found out you were 24 because I was
Really?
24
Yeah, that's crazy.
when I learned that, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm not."
How much younger did you think I was?
I thought that you were because I knew you were friends with our mutual friend Jill. I thought you were Jill's age, and Jill is I think 20 right now.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Jill's 21 for sure.
No.
Jill's like 22.
No, Jill's 18.
I think
Wait.
19.
Bro.
Now that we're talking,
Jill is like
Does
definitely.
Jill-
Hold on.
No,
What
our
is
friend
Jill's
Jill is
real-
22.
The title-
Yeah, she's
Jill is
22.
22.
We should
They're
just
my
make
age.
the title of this episode "How old is Jill?" and
How
then
old is
just
Jill?
wait to hear. Just
and,
wait.
and the episode after 7 minutes. Adriana, how was your week?
Yeah, pretty good. I have a car to drive around now. So that's
Yay!
good. Yeah. Woo.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm not sick anymore, which is
Awesome.
good. I have been at home because I didn't have a car until recently. So
Whoa.
I've just been sitting at home, crunching pretty much is just all I've been doing. And looking for jobs and stuff. And that's it.
Hell yeah!
Oh, I went to a really cool show in Austin, a band called Daikaiju. It was so great. They set their drum set on fire.
Whoa!
Fire marshals hate them. Apparently they do that at every show. But it was
Fuck yeah.
it was amazing.
That's awesome.
I feel like I've heard that band name before.
Oh,
I might have-
really?
It
I mean,
feels
they're
like something
local.
that the other Hayden might have talked about at some point.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real. How about you guys?
Clayton?
Whoever hasn't gone yet.
I'm doing good. I know I've been saying this for a minute, but I officially have the job I've been talking about now.
Yay!
I had
Fucking
a
go.
little
Congrats.
orientation interview thing, and they brought me on. They called me. They told me, and I don't know if y'all have heard this, but they said that I was a star, and then I stood out in the room.
Yes,
So-
They
you
said you were a
They
star.
said I was a star. Actually.
That's
So-
awesome. That reminds me that I also watched Pearl for the first time while I was.
Oh.
Whoa.
I'm a star.
Please have a star. That's what you said, and they told you. You're
Yes,
A star.
they were like, and you're a star. And then I stopped listening, but I assume I got the job.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's most of what I've been up to. I've been working a bunch. I was working in a restaurant that is outdoors, and it was about 28 degrees this morning.
Oh my god.
Very cold.
Our listeners in like Russia and Siberia and like Canada, they're like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, they think I'm a coward right now.
They're
They
like,
think
wait,
I'm a
that's like
little wimp.
normal. That's like shorts. weather.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like.
We're in
the
Texas. It's hard down here.
North. Yeah.
Well, anything else anybody needs to say before we get to?
I think I only mentioned that it's my birthday, and I said nothing else about my week.
Yeah, we started talking
I
about
always
ages.
I always try to take it away. From
No, it wasn't you.
It's
It
okay.
wasn't you this time. I just looked at who it was. I just
He
looked.
just-
Wow.
I leered at who it was. No, honestly though, funny enough, not much else to. Not much I want to frickin' say about my week.
That's
That's
okay. So
crazy.
You, okay. So
Other than that,
Other than that,
I fucking read One Piece.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Actually, last thing I want to say is last time Clayton broke the chair, broke the bar of the chair, and now I am sitting in that chair.
I just, as you started saying that, I was like, wait a second, I have a chair bar right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, so somehow I'm dealing with the
Yeah,
consequences.
and now you have to have little dangly feet.
Oh. Okay.
Silly.
Yeah.
Then
are
that's
we-
it.
Is it finally time to talk about One Piece?
One Piece.
Well, that's only the name of the treasure on the Grand Line.
Yeah.
Sean, he's
Yep.
cooking.
Before we get to that,
I thought you said Sean, he's cooking.
Sean, he's cooking.
Sean is cooking.
His localized
Sean.
name is Sean.
Sanji. Wait, do y'all know what Sanji's name was supposed to be? Have we talked about this?
No.
No.
Not so. Sanji. This One Piece was coming out in 1998, around the time as another popular manga. Sanji's original name before this manga came out was going to be Dragon Ball. That's not. It was going to be Naruto.
You're kidding.
That is real.
No.
His name was going to be Naruto.
Oh my
Is
god.
that a common name?
I don't think so. I'm assuming a lot of like Japanese names are. There are a lot of like first parts of names and second parts that are like commonly interchanged, and so I'm assuming Naruto comes from doing that practice. And that Oda just came up with that name in a similar way to the other guy. What's up?
There was a clang in the house.
I did like a steam engine just stopped in the garage.
Yeah, we got
That's
the
what
puffing Tom parked outside.
Our washing machine just does that, but it's fine.
That's cute.
Okay, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Koichi was almost named Zoro, actually.
That's not true.
No.
You're lying.
Shut
I couldn't think of anything
up.
funny. Yeah, so we're taking a little week break from JoJo. The thumbnail on this YouTube video is gonna go off. I just know I'm gonna put so much work into this one. But I just want to say we're still thinking about JoJo. Rest assured,
Thoughts and prayers.
the next episode will be a normal episode. The one after that will be a JoJo only episode. But let's get into freaking One Piece.
Wait a minute. That means y'all will have more JoJo only episodes than One Piece.
We'll just have to do more One Piece
We'll just have
only
to do more
episodes.
One Piece only
Another
episodes.
one. Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to say something
Okay.
as we're getting in. Before
Say
we start talking
something.
about what happened, I got to experience this week's chapters in a very special way.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I have started
Me too.
collecting physical
Oh.
copies of One Piece, and this was my first week of having all 3 volumes physical after we recorded our last episode.
How was it?
It was life-changing.
Stop it. Stop it right. It's a piece of paper. Don't you dare start with that right now.
What are you talking about? Okay.
I
It
just
was
think it's so funny. Like, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to let you live your truth.
Are you suck?
Yeah, are you against this? Are you
No, I'm not.
Are you taking away my joy?
I just hate when. No, I don't hate. I just like.
despise it.
I feel.
You're
You're a
furious right
villain.
now.
You're gripping the table and you're
just-
breaking it. It's shattering. It's splintering.
Clayton, edit Adriana out of the podcast.
I'm gonna bleep everything you just said.
Wait, what do you hate, Adriana? What do you
No, I just. You know what? It's so fine. I just. There's certain things that I when consuming media, you hear other people talk about their experience and then you try to recreate that experience, but it doesn't like make you feel, and then you think that there's something wrong with you, and I just have a lot of experience with that. So when you come on here and you're like, I read things off of a piece of paper and it changed my life, I just immediately got defensive.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It has nothing
I'm
to
not,
do with you.
No, but it was.
Also, you're just
That's
such
really
a whimsical person, so I should be used to this by now.
No, it was truly like I think that like there was something special about going from reading it off of my phone to going to be able to like
Oh.
flip pages. You know, like
Yeah.
everything was bigger. Like just
We read it on a flat screen TV. That's why maybe
Oh,
because
see,
if
that's
I was
awesome.
reading it on my phone, I feel totally.
there's also just like I don't know. It's like I have to scroll. You scroll up and down
Mm-hmm.
on the web page, and
Yeah.
you read left to right on the book, and you have like it's just like I don't know. It was very very nice because I was. It just like engrossed me in it so much more because there was no like distractions of seeing like the web page or the ads or having to click like next chapter or anything like that. It just like I was able to really engross myself in it. After we recorded our last episode, I literally sat on our recliner for 3 hours and just read
Yeah.
all of the chapters. It flowed there was something also about the way it flowed while reading it physically that changed ever so slightly, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Also, you were so much more connected to the material because you had to color in all the
I was
pages.
Yeah.
just gonna say it was no. Go ahead.
It was in black and white, which I
Yeah.
also it definitely was an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and I did reread everything in color. Like I reread these chapters and I read them in color. But I don't know. This is my first time reading any manga that was in black and white. I've read like every other manga I've read has been like colored translations or anything like that, and it was very interesting. I think it took me a second to like kind of like I kind of had to relearn how to read it and like relearn how to read the action, because I think the colored translation that we read has such a good way of like making you see things really well.
Yeah, that's why I can barely get by with no color, because it's just the action specifically too is just the line weight. I feel like is so important, and not every artist not every artist like uses line weight in a way that translates to me.
Luckily though, everything in the manga looked really good. I think literally like there was like when I was reading it in color, like it was like, oh, everything here is like the same except for one part that I thought was done better in the black and white, which was just the moment of, which we'll get into, of everybody like drowning. In the manga, I think looked significantly better than the colored translation, because it felt like darker, you know?
Interesting.
It's nice.
Neat.
But that was my exciting thing, and I'm now continuing to collect and read physical One Piece, and hopefully this little bookstore that I go to never stops having them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You should make sure they don't. You should go
I'm going to threaten them with physical violence.
Yeah.
Are we ready to talk about the contents
Yes.
of One Piece this week?
What stood out to what's the first thing you're thinking of when you think about this batch?
Usopp.
Usopp. Yeah.
How many times did everyone cry?
Let me look at my updated tier count.
I think just to actually cry, but I was very touched by a lot of it.
I got 4.
4.
I got 4.
What
out
were
of me.
those 4?
The 4 that I got. Usopp on the building top.
Yeah.
When he was shooting those mile-long shots.
That was just excitement. That wasn't like emotional.
I
That
bawled.
was like, oh my god.
I bawled.
You bawled.
Like truly, that was the hardest I cried in all of these volumes.
For a
Shit, he's
After
bawling.
so long of him feeling so useless, Sanji says, he's like, hey, there's a lot of things that people can't do. All you need to do right now is do what you can do.
Literally.
And he
So
goes
good.
exactly where they need him.
Yes.
And without Usopp, Robin would have been fucking gone. Like, they would have lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will admit that when I first got to that scene and you start seeing flames everywhere and it's not telling you who it is, for a second I was like, no way!
Yes,
Ace,
I
arise!
thought the same thing because the Navy was right there. I thought he infiltrated the Navy again.
For me, I thought it was just a Marvel, like an MCU moment, a random stupid cameo.
Yeah.
Luckily, now that would have been awesome, and I'm sure Oda would have found a way. If that was the way it needed to go, would have been great. Luckily, it was Usopp having an incredible character moment, and
it was, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm really happy that I'm kind of dumb sometimes, because I was talking to you about this, but like when the fire came in, I didn't know what was going on. When like Spandam got hit in the face, I was like, what the fuck? And then like it starts like doing all these pot shots. I didn't put it together until the panel of like Usopp on the building, and I think that's like what made me like cry so hard, is the fact that like I didn't see it coming until the moment of that reveal, which I know I talked to Clayton about this, and you knew when you were like when he first got hit, you kind of knew that it was Usopp, but I just didn't, and I think that being unable to comprehend books sometimes made that moment much more enjoyable for me.
I know what you mean. I thought it could be either Usopp or, I think it's interesting because I thought it could be Usopp or Ace, but I was leaning towards I think Ace came to mind because I was like, this attack is so awesome and useful, and it was kind of like out of the ordinary for Usopp to be behind that, you know?
Fuck you.
No, am I wrong?
But he's doing
No, but
even
you're so
better
right.
than he
You're
usually
so
does.
right.
He has that new
Yeah.
pachinko slingshot's really cool. I gotta say, I really enjoy seeing the differing degrees of media literacy at this table. It's really nice.
Whoa.
Yeah, that we have like.
Why don't you rank them, Josh?
Okay. Just kidding. Just freaking kidding.
No, it was such a good moment. It was
Yeah.
such a good moment.
My cry count. We've read 430 chapters of One Piece. My cry count is 12. In this last batch of 30 chapters, I added 2. 2 of those are just from this batch. I'll get into what made
Can
me.
I ask?
I'm
what
at
they were?
15.
Oh, yeah, wait. Hayden only said one of his 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we just want to run through what our?
Let's start with the greats.
Yeah.
Let's start with the great moments.
Okay,
and we can
okay,
talk
okay.
about everything.
Because
else.
I'll have a lot of small stuff that I know I want to get y'all's
Yeah.
takes on.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
y'all bring up the classics, the hits.
It's a cry count of 15 with a sob count of 2.
Yeah,
I'm
my-
differentiating my like uncontrollables from just like my tears.
Oh,
shedding.
all of mine are mixed together. So like
Yeah.
some of them are everything where it's just like if a tear, if my eyes well up to where I can't even deny that a tear is going to come down,
Can't even deny.
then I will count that. But
Yeah.
but I think 2 or 3 moments have been me straight sobbing, and of course one of them was the end of the last final moments of this homework, which was us
Yeah.
saying goodbye to the Going Merry.
Oh, the
I
Going
knew-
Merry's funeral.
I knew it was coming. This was one of the first spoilers I ever got for One Piece. Was that there's a moment where the
man.
ship burns. It didn't matter because I truly. Oh my god, I don't know if I got really emotional. I don't know if I welled up, but when the Going Merry returned,
Oh, that was one of my
Yeah.
cry counts.
yeah,
It being like, look down. She's calling to us. There's one more shipmate.
yeah.
And everybody jumping into the sea, and then it.
I'm literally crying right now.
Yeah.
Because if any of you relate to this, like having empathy for your stuffed animals for some
Yeah.
reason.
Sound
and,
off
like,
in the comments.
100%.
like
yeah.
it was that same feeling.
If you relate to that, hit subscribe. Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
Follow
And
on
it was-
Spotify.
Everyone heard the voice.
Yeah.
Well, all the straw hats.
All the
heard
straw hats.
voice.
And Iceberg heard the voice.
He did. 'Cause
That
the ship
moment, in rereading that moment,
Yeah.
that moment is like.
Because he built it.
Yeah,
He rebuilt it.
He rebuilt it, and like seeing the way that his face was drawn in those moments,
Mm-hmm.
and like he has this emotion on his face where he doesn't even understand what he's doing, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
That is so good.
The will of this ship is so fucking strong.
I was really happy too that when the Going Merry returned, I was like, this is an incredible moment. However, the Going Merry being able to make this one last voyage, depending on how this is handled the next chapter, could sort of invalidate a lot of like the stakes of what happened in this arc, because the whole big crux of this arc was that they couldn't use the Going Merry. Or you know that was an important factor. The fact that Iceberg, who at this point I should call clutch alert because he's been nothing but going clutch mode his entire
There's
career
a
in One Piece.
There's a reason he's the mayor, CEO, boss, president. Of
yeah, which I thought
he wears a lot of hats.
he wears a lot of hats, and I'm like, I originally was suspicious of him because he wore all those hats, but apparently Oda likes this guy.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to see him have a role to play in helping the Merry get there one last time. Giving the Merry a voice was an interesting choice. I really appreciated it overall. It was used sparingly. It was used very just enough.
Yeah.
To where it wasn't going overboard and being like, well, okay, why weren't you talking the whole time? It was like, no, this is a really important moment for it to express its appreciation.
Yeah. It's also, I think they pull it off in a way that you could very easily not really think that it's like they're hearing a literal voice in their head or
Yeah.
something. But it's more just like that they like understand and they like feel the ship.
Yeah. That when it was running through, when the ship started burning and it was flashing through each crew member's memories with it,
Yeah.
that was quite a bit. Although I don't think it showed us Usopp's. Did it show us Usopp's memories with it?
We see Usopp, I believe, fixing it and working on it.
Because like I thought, if anything, this would be we know this ship's so important to him. It's the one Kaya gave him, you know. But yeah, I think this arc did wonders for the crew as a whole, but especially for Usopp, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into our rankings later, right? Which I'm very excited to get to. But I gotta say, I'm an Usopp head now. Fucking love him.
Yeah.
Yep.
You fucking love that guy. And then my other cry was when Usopp reveals his face to Luffy as he takes off Sniper King's mask.
Yeah, man.
The panel of Luffy like laying on the ground.
He's like, you came. And then he's
I
like,
lost it
and then
every
he's like,
time I read it.
he's taunting Lucci, who would definitely kill him
in an instant. An instant. It would turn into nothing.
Because it's after all of this arc, after all the turmoil between Luffy and Usopp. Usopp shows up, reveals himself to Luffy, and then shows him that he trusts Luffy with his life. That he's like, I know that you've got my back, and to prove it, I'm going to let this guy fucking kill me because I know you'll stop it.
I think it's the moment where he said,
So good.
he said, let me take care of him, you'll die. And he goes, then stand up.
Yeah.
That's when I start crying. I was like, damn, this is like an 80s movie, but like I fucking love it so much.
That moment is up there with like the I want to live for me. Like that is one of my favorite moments in One Piece as well. I think it's so good.
Also, just
so good.
when he takes his mask off, there's a lot of just like really close, detailed shots of Usopp's face, and I had to be like, I used to hate looking at his stupid face. So I went and I looked back at his original design, and oh my god, it is. Thank God Oda like changed it up because it is very different from how one remembers it. Just a fun fact there. I like where the art style is a lot. I think the way that he designs his characters is getting better with time so far. So, except for one factor.
I'm just
except
wondering
for,
like what you. I guess.
I just mean I like looking at their faces more. It's just more fun to look at them. Their body, like the way that their forearms is shaped, is less bothersome to me. The way that women are drawn, not getting any better. Well, if anything, getting worse.
It's not that. It's just maybe I'm just not. I haven't gone back and compared it, so maybe I'm just like the gradual change has tricked me into thinking it hasn't changed.
See, that's
much.
the thing is I don't feel like anything
I don't
has changed.
feel like it's
if you look
changed,
at you go back, I've gone back and like looked. Because I noticed it was making me feel different, or I felt different. I couldn't tell how much of that was just familiarity, how much of that was like evolution.
Definitely the close-up face shots of characters, like when they have like a line or a moment. I definitely noticed those panels going harder.
Everyone looks just a little less like soft and cute. Although I miss when they looked cute, like when everything was like nice and fun. But they just like even like, especially if you look at Zoro.
Yeah, I was gonna say Zoro had a really well drawn panel. Right, the panel right after they get their handcuffs off.
Yep,
and he's like, you guys fucked up. You're gonna die now.
Great panel.
He looked so fucking cool.
I thought during the giraffe fight, there were a lot of moments where they drew his face really good.
The giraffe fight, I have to say, Kaku has given me my favorite out of context One Piece panel now.
Wait, is it I'm reborn?
I am reborn as he stands as a half giraffe, half man. It's so funny.
I was gonna send that in the group chat, like you guys.
I will say I was both delighted and very disappointed at his ability. As soon as it showed up, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous.
But it was used really like it. I really enjoyed, like, as silly as it was when it first came on, he was like a significant threat, and I'm happy that that he just kind of went insane and did a bunch of random bullshit that was awesome.
I personally think it made his character way less cool, and I was disappointed in that way.
Me too. I liked his fighting style when he was a guy a lot. I thought he was fascinating, and then he was a giraffe man.
Yeah, but I think I didn't hate the fight overall. I think it did get a little too long at some point, but overall it was
well, it had a big moment.
Well, yeah. What did y'all think of Demon King Asura?
So Lucas already told me that was the moment you thought I wouldn't like.
I did not think
and you were right. You were right.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
This
was my least favorite fight in this batch that we had. It wasn't terrible. I just thought it went on too long, and it was a bit hard to follow physically sometimes, like the art, because there was a lot going on in every image. You know, you have this big giraffe man, you have you have 3 swords, and then you have like this elaborate room. Point is, though, it had cool moments. I cannot wait for this demon 9-arm thing to be explained.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. And it was very annoying when it happened because I got no satisfaction from like, oh, I have no idea how you beat him just now. You beat him.
Is it not just a Zoro move that he hasn't used yet? Because
I do not like it's just a Zoro move moments. I need explanations soon because we've been piling them up and I've been getting more and more fed up with that.
He has been living his life before this as well, go ahead.
Other ones are you thinking of?
Just
like when he learned to cut like through things without slicing them.
That was a new one though. That was explained. I mean, it
Not
wasn't like
really.
explained in detail how he did it because it's not fucking possible. But like,
I need every other. We got a lot of new moves from a lot of different characters this batch. Every one of them got at least an in-world rationale for why now they can do it. Except for Zoro, who was just like, "Yeah, I'm demon now."
Girl, he was always
it will listen. I'm sure I will look back on this when it's explained, and I'll be like, I will appreciate it more. As of right now, I just felt dissatisfied. I don't want to feel this way. I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
but I know how I felt in those moments.
Here's what I'll say. I disagree with some parts of that. I think, for example, Zoro. The like hearing the voice of things as he cuts, like that moment, I love that, and I think it's so much better to not have an explanation of it yet.
It was cool. In the moment, it was cool. But we haven't. I was like expecting there to be an explanation by now, and because there hasn't been, I feel like, and when he keeps doing things that are related to that move, I go, well, I don't. You're actually just pulling the same trick on me, and I'm not like. It's not fun anymore. Please expand upon this. You know,
I think too. Part of it is there's a lot of elaboration later on. Like looking back on it, that move makes so much sense. But I think part of it is just like it's classic like samurai kung fu. So like you have to feel the ripples of the water. When it's like it's meant to emulate just like the classic samurai's journey of like learning to be one with your blade.
Maybe, let's go ahead if you're not done.
That makes sense.
What you got?
Oh, just I feel maybe I'm just too used to Iraqi writing, but when are we gonna talk about atoms? You know, like the atoms.
Yes.
You know, that's what I'm expecting. Like
Never.
When are we going to talk about quarks and molecules?
Yeah, like when's the molecules? When are the molecules going to enter the chat? You know,
the only time I think in One Piece that ever happens is with Foxy when we get the slow particles.
Yeah, I don't
God.
listen. I don't need like an explanation that's realistic. I just need I just would like something that flows with the structure of a power set. Right, what we got with Zoro was something that was so far, for me, felt so far out of his move set, so far out of like his typical repertoire of tricks that for it to feel satisfying required a level of like tie back to what is happening. Are you
saying like if he had something this powerful this whole time, then why not use it for when he fought Mihawk, for
also,
example?
we don't know how he's learning this stuff. We don't like.
My kind of theory here, and what I feel like Zoro as a character is, and the reason I think I don't feel this way towards you is Zoro a lot of times is just like hey, I'm just going to do what fucking needs to get done. I personally don't think that Zoro necessarily knew that this was something he was fully capable of, but when the chips were down and he had to do something, he fought so hard that is what happened. I feel like that is what Zoro has always kind of been, and I I think that it will get explained at some point, but as of right now, it just didn't feel like something I needed. Like, I was like, yeah, Zoro is fighting so hard that he is taking on the appearance of a fucking demon god.
If this works for you, I'm happy for you. I don't have any problem with you guys flowing with this and trusting that. I just think, for me, it wasn't something that surprised me. It's just something that disappointed me.
I'm just willing to be patient is all, I guess. I'm not like too bothered by it until it gets explained because I'm like, oh, it'll happen eventually. I'll just like wait.
On top of that, it's like, it really, I don't know. It's tough when like you have a fight, you don't know how a character's going to win. And you're like, you're on the edge of your seat, right? You're like, how's he going to win? How's he going to win? Is it something I was missing the whole time? Is it going to be something clever? And then it's just a made up move. That is something that sometimes happens in One Piece, and it happens in other stuff too. And to me, when it's not tied back to something, I get frustrated. But I will be patient.
Maybe maybe he gets like visited in his dreams and like taught these like new moves, and that's why he's sleeping all the time.
Whoa.
You guys.
I also did
That would be
see
cool.
like somebody talking about how like I saw like in one of the comments on one of like the things that the chapters that we read, somebody was expressing like a similar frustration, and somebody was just like, yeah, but like it's kind of established that Zoro is like constantly training, but we just don't spend the time watching him.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So, the second half of the statement I was saying earlier, I don't like Asura, and I think it's lazy writing on Oda's part. And
Okay.
I think what I say still holds true for like earlier moments. Like I think that there's a stark difference between Asura and like the hearing the voice of things moment.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think Asura is part of something that is a huge thematic piece of what happens for all of the Straw Hats in their fights, which is all of them show up and, you know, we're trying to save Robin, right? And all of them are like hitting these stone walls of fights they can't win, and all have to kind of like become something more than themselves. Chopper literally becoming a monster, Sanji lighting himself on fire.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah. And I think that
was
Asura is just, of all of those things, it's the only one for me really that just doesn't work.
That's exactly how I feel. I will say when the first when the first Zoro hearing sounds and stuff happened a long time ago, it was tied back to like his backstory with his sensei and stuff, and that was at least like felt tied in. But so I still like that moment on it in isolation, but over time with stuff like this, it kind of gets it starts to kind of feel shallow. But I think we should move on because there's so much more to talk about.
True.
Like Sanji Firefoot.
That was
Diable
crazy.
Jambe.
He they start going after the keys, right? Which okay, why would they play fair and actually have keys that could work? Why would they have a key with Robin that could work? I don't know. Maybe they were just that overconfident. But
I think also CP9, they're like blood. They wanted to fight each other.
Oh yeah, and I love that aspect of it.
When
And I think that so great.
just when Lucci was like, "Oh, I hope he didn't die in the bombing. That would be boring."
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you get that vibe.
I also think like CP9, like their whole goal there is they are just trying to have the longest fights as possible. And if any of the Straw Hats were able to figure out that the keys were fake, they would have all just abandoned and bum rushed Robin. So I think it was important that the keys were real. Like,
well,
because
they wouldn't know the keys were fake until they tried it on Robin. You know,
but there
were other handcuffs
There were other
around,
handcuffs,
you know?
but would they? I mean, yeah,
I'm just
I
saying,
guess
like,
they would have to predict that they would get caught up in the other handcuffs. But.
yeah, I just think that like CP9 doesn't. Like I think I understand why they would use like real keys.
that feels
you
like
know?
a CP9 plan, not a Spam Dam plan.
But
Spam Dam wouldn't give them a chance.
Spam Dam?
No.
Is that his name?
Spam
Spandam.
Spandam.
Okay,
Spandam.
okay. It's an N. Yeah. Okay.
Spanda.
Spanda. What was I just gonna? Oh, I feel like maybe because I don't think they even thought they would get as far as the moment before the keys, you know? So I really think it was just like they didn't have enough time to make fake keys.
Yeah.
Right? They were just like, what can we do to delay this? Like, what can we use in this situation? Let's, you know, there are only real keys here. So, you know?
Yeah. That could make
Like,
sense.
they-
I didn't want to get caught up on this.
No,
This wasn't something that was like that important to me. I liked the way that they lured them out. I liked the bloodthirstiness, and I liked how there was a really there was a big focus on matchups. There's a big focus on these are some good matchups, these are some bad matchups. Sanji goes
got
up
the
against
worst one.
Sanji went up against
Oh my God.
arguably the worst one he could have gone against.
Love all the shots of like there's big shit happening, things are exploding, and it's like little shitty bubbles. Sanji like, ooh.
We were looking at
Like,
a panel.
if something fell on him, he would fucking die.
Even like trying to film me was just.
Dude, he was like slumped.
Lucas is holding
Yeah.
up a picture
He had
of a
he had
little
no
shitty
chin.
Sanji.
At one point, we were reading this. I was reading this to Adriana, and Adriana goes, "Is it over for me, guys?" But yeah,
That's so
Sanji
funny.
realizing that like there's things that Usopp's good at, there's things that I'm good at, and also coming through for Sanji like that with that message for him, saving his life. Sanji got 2 Mr. Prince moments,
He did.
Oh my God. Yeah.
and it got me again.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
I know,
the first time.
baby.
I was like, Oda, how do you do that? Like, it's moments like that. I'm so impressed with Oda because I'm like, you're finding new ways to keep doing this.
Got me again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sanji is the man with a plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
He's
He
the
has that
clutch
little
mode.
line where he's like, "Yeah, I knew, we wouldn't get through this with hard work alone." And
Yeah,
then,
when
taps
he
his head, and
closes
I was
the
like,
gates of
"Oh,
justice."
Yeah,
son."
baby.
He disappears. That's where it didn't fool me because Oda points out, like with Zoro's like, "Where did Sanji go?" When they're at the gates of
Yeah,
justice.
they make a point where it's like the big blinking empty
Yeah.
space, and he's like, "Whoa."
And then
And
he
you know
saves
he's off-
saves
No,
Kokoro.
up to no good.
He saves
Uh-huh.
Kokoro and the children, and then he's like, "Yeah, sorry, I had some business to attend to." I'm like, "Okay, all right."
yeah.
Oda's not even trying to be slick now.
No.
Yeah.
He's just making this. This is just Sanji's role.
He's making you feel comfortable so he can get you again.
But then
later.
it was a huge like genius move that Sanji pulled with the Gates of Justice. So it was like,
Yeah.
I still was surprised at just how like, yeah, I don't know.
He going back to the bubble fight or whatever,
Uh-huh.
he was like, "I'll never kick a woman, no matter what, even
Yeah.
if it kills
It was
me." Blah, blah,
beaten
blah, blah.
into me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm getting like self-worth issue vibes. I'm getting vibes. I'm
Yeah.
getting issue vibes from Sanji.
You weren't already
I don't know
getting those?
anything about. Yes, but you know.
You got problems.
And we're back. Audio issues, you know how it goes. Hayden, what were you saying?
I was saying, how do we feel about this Nami and Khalifa fight? We got to see
Yeah.
Nami having some fucking cool ass climate baton moments, lightning bolts.
Thought Nami was great in it. I was just saying, I just don't know why they made Khalifa stupid out of nowhere. You know,
her
'cause
personality was not as well developed as the other CP9s.
it's not even just that. It's like when we first met her, she was perfectly capable and intimidating. And now, well, you know what? That happened to Kaku too. Like they were really intimidating, and then once they got their devil fruit powers, they were just silly. They were just so silly.
Yeah, but Kaku was still menacing, and Khalifa literally got like some IQ points removed for no real reason.
Right.
I will say this. I enjoyed one thing about this whole fight, and that was that Nami confirmed lesbian moment. That was funny.
Yeah, whoa, that was crazy.
She was just like, "Wow, I wish she was my secretary. She's so sexy." Oh my god,
I'm talking like a dirty
yeah,
old
I'm talking
man.
like a dirty old man, which reminded me of a moment that in JoJo that will come up eventually,
Yes,
and
I think I know.
I will be like, Clayton, this is that moment.
Okay.
I loved that, and I love Nami so much. I just am not vibing with the climate baton, and I'm not.
Wow.
I thought Khalifa's ability was very cool.
I did really enjoy the moment where Nami was like, "What? Do you have the fucking bubble fruit and you make bubbles?" And then she was
Yeah.
like, "I have the bubble fruit."
I was like, oh shit, it's like
Okay,
that.
yeah, sure.
I will say this.
I don't know. I love the climate baton But I think it's just I'm really happy somebody in the main group has lightning aesthetics, and that's all I need to be happy is some lightning.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't know. I can't place why anymore, but I like Nami's smarts with weather and her knowledge of climate. It's really cool. The climate baton just is not. It's not very interesting for me or believable for some reason. That's just a me thing. Khalifa literally has a power that is so similar to a stand.
Yeah.
That you will
she
meet.
was stealing that friction.
That you will meet later on, Clayton. But you'll know exactly what we're talking about when you see it. But that was cool. I like seeing Nami be smart. I'll say that much.
But speaking of that though, I know it's not a JoJo episode or anything, but this batch did make me think about both the fact that we got 2 new devil fruit users or whatever.
Yeah. We saw devil fruit for like the first time
in a while, and the fact that what did you just say? What that made me think of this? What?
The bubble ability. It's like a stand.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Nami being smart.
Yeah, so multiple things about this batch made me think about like if devil fruits actually do work like stands and they're not just pre-decided. You know?
Yeah, because Kaku said something about liking drafts.
Yeah, and
Jabra,
who?
the wolf guy.
Yeah.
He does the wolf in sheep's clothing technique.
Yes, and there was someone else. But I feel like
when Luffy ate the fruit, we knew it was a gum fruit before he ate it, right?
That's true.
Yeah. By looking at a fruit, I think we've seen this. I think other times as well, where we are able to look at a fruit and know what it is before anybody's eaten it.
Doesn't mean it's not supposed to thematically vibe with like the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must just be a thematic thing, just because.
Real quick, I sent in the group chat. Don't spend too much time reading this. Do y'all know the Dr. Stone? Do y'all know Dr. Stone?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
So Boichi, the mangaka that draws that, big One Piece fan, and he's worked with Oda a couple times to draw different moments from One Piece, and even he did like a side story of Ace before he met up with Luffy that is like pseudo canon and stuff. He's a really talented artist, and he drew Nami versus Khalifa. I just sent it in the group chat. If y'all want to go give it a little scroll.
The art is incredible, but oh my god, I've seen this. People complain about the way he draws women, and it is really bad.
Here, let me find a couple for you, Adriana. Here's a.
Oh my god, I know this guy from Twitter. Oh my god.
That is senseless.
I think.
Oh my
this
god,
is the most egregious one.
Let me see.
I have seen someone complain about this exact piece of media on Twitter.
I have also seen this.
I didn't know that that's what it was.
I knew it was One Piece. I didn't know.
Wow.
Do you recommend reading this though? Is it good, like a good reimagining of the
No.
Oh, you okay. So you just wanted to make fun
I
of
wanted
how...
y'all to see the awful things that this man was doing.
Okay, thank God.
This is literally awful. I think.
Let me see.
I want to try I want to try to find the frame that someone posted that the person had such a problem
Just
because when I saw it, it was.
No, it's in the way their faces look too. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was this. It was this part.
Yeah.
Here. Just they're even just their faces. They look like
it makes Oda look like he respects women.
Oh God. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's
I was
bad.
worried that's what that was. Anyway, fights I liked. Sanji versus Jabra.
Awesome.
Zoro
Sanji comes in and he's like, Jabba's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Me." And he holds his cigarette like this. He holds the elbow up in the air and he goes, "The hunter."
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he said a line. It was
3
like
names now.
yes. This guy loves alter egos.
Yeah.
He also was like at one point. gods made food.
Yes.
And devils and demons made spices.
I guess this dish was a bit too spicy. I always think of
Spicy for you.
that line in
Four
his
Kids.
4 Kids voice.
We heard-
I guess
Oh
this
my
dish
God.
was a bit too spicy for you.
We heard his 4 Kids voice recently.
For the first time
saw
for
him,
me,
He was
I-
like, I know a cracked egg when I see one. I was like, I can't believe he sounds like that. It does not work for me.
You do a good job of that, actually.
Yeah,
John. Sounds
it's like
how he
nasally.
sounded. Why?
Frankie versus
Fukuro.
Fukuro.
Right.
Good fight. Really
Great
good.
fight.
Yeah.
So good.
I
Frankie's
love
got so many
Frankie.
tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah.
So
and it
cool.
works.
And then both being like, your punch was weak. No, your punch was weak.
I also like CP. I like the 6 powers. I think it was a good like frame of reference for their abilities.
I
And,
agree.
And the way that they would change it up would be like, okay, I can believe this. Like that's cool. And the way that they would match up against the Straw Hats, it was satisfying.
Yeah.
I liked Frankie's fight, dude. Chopper beat
Chopper.
Tony Chopper became Anthony Helicopter in
Yeah,
this fucking
baby.
batch,
That
man.
was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
really
so
good.
fucking. I am literally obsessed with how creepy and intimidating he. Amazing.
It was beautifully illustrated, and it was
Yeah.
haunting.
literally maybe one of my favorite character designs, like in the whole thing so far.
So cool. And also he beat the ever living fuck out of
Yeah.
my least favorite
Yeah.
CP9 guy.
Because
Yeah.
once he went Monster Point, it was like there was no fight left.
No.
Like
No.
Kumadori just got his ass whooped in like 2 hits.
And the way
Yeah.
that it was foreshadowed very briefly with his flashback to Dr. Correa and being like, you can't do experiments like that. And we're like, what is he talking about? And he goes, "Arr!" He turns into a fucking monster. And then it's like, and then it was like, oh, this is what he blacked out doing.
Yeah.
So cool.
So
and
cool.
he just threw the fucking hair guy into space.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
guy was so fucking annoying.
I liked
was.
him.
I liked him a lot.
Whoa.
I had so much fun with him.
I don't know why I liked how he talked.
Let me
Yeah.
say
He was
this.
just
Yeah.
funny.
I'm with you.
He was
Whoa.
just
I liked him and I hated him at
Yeah,
the same time.
yeah.
I loved to hate him. Like
he was a girl fail, and that's why I liked
he
him.
was. His also the first joke we meet, the first gimmick he has whenever we meet him is he's like, I'm such a failure. I'm gonna commit suicide. I'm gonna do seppuku, and then he goes Iron Body as soon as he tries to kill himself, and he's like, I guess I just can't do it. No, he was annoying me though at the end when he was like he was
Oh,
spitting poetry.
Yeah, I
Wait,
loved
poetry?
that.
I liked the
I
poetry.
loved it when he was monologuing about to kill
Yeah.
fucking
I mean, it was cool.
Chopper.
It was also like I was with Chopper there, where I was like, if I was Chopper right now, I'd be like, I'm going to send you to hell, and he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he sent him to hell. And I love how Chopper then became an obstacle for some of our Straw Hats.
Yeah.
Frankie saved him and then
Yeah.
had this great moment where he's like, they must really love
Yeah,
you.
no,
so I'm
yeah.
going to let this slide. Yeah, dude, Frankie,
Frankie's awesome.
man.
Frankie's a good one.
I
He's
have a
good guy.
feeling we're going to be seeing more of him going forward. I really, really
Because
love this
they
guy.
need a fucking guy.
They need a
They
guy.
need the ship guy. More than
Luffy's been
ever.
saying they need a robot.
They need.
And he did say. I think we talked about this a few episodes ago. At this point, where he was like, "I want to build a ship that sails around the whole world."
Yeah, and
That's his
once
dream.
once you
Yeah.
got the dream thrown in there, it's like, okay, you know where he's going.
Okay.
The dream. Family.
Oh.
I don't know why I was about to sing Saturn's Bars by Gorillaz. Anyway, I liked those fights. The Sanji fight was cool with Jabra. We finally see his fire kicks.
Yeah,
Really
I knew those
cool.
were coming because of Jump Force, the video game. That's the like other spoil. One of the few spoilers
Oh, that
I
must've
got from
been
that.
cool.
And I did not think that. I thought it was going to be
That he
him
just
getting
like,
like
lit
a
it on
power,
fire.
or
Oh.
like I thought he was going to get like a devil fruit power. Is what my assumption.
Me,
has
I thought he
always
was gonna
been.
get some special ability. No, he just he's like, I just learned this new trick.
Yeah, I just
Yep.
spin around.
He spins around so fast his leg lights on fire. There's a cannon, by the way. Oda answered. Somebody asked, "Why doesn't that hurt Sanji?" Do y'all want to know what the answer is?
Let me think.
I found it and I
Yes.
read it and nothing.
You-
It
you
has
do-
nothing
I
to
wanna
do,
know.
it has nothing to do with his
Okay.
kicking technique that he learned from Red.
Is the answer it does?
It doesn't hurt Sanji because the fire inside of him burns hotter than the fire outside of him.
I gotta say, I feel like I would hope that there's going to be something later that maybe ties into that and explains why he's able to do that.
Yeah.
But I was able to just believe this guy learned I've had to accept the whole time that he just learned a technique that allows his feet to be indestructible and to be weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
From his chef father, who I forgot the name of.
The chef father.
Yeah. So I was able to. Clayton's really, really paying attention to Brother Bear. Brother Bear's.
I'm not even my mind's not even registering, and my eyes just want it for some
He just
reason.
wants to watch Brother Bear.
Guys.
I just can accept that he's like, I learned to do this spinny friction thing with my feet. Also, when he was done kicking his ass, and then there was a moment where he's just on his feet, he see his feet power down and like the flames go away. That was really cool. I really liked
It was.
that.
Yeah.
Really.
What
cool
did y'all
move.
think of when Jabra goes, you know what? You can have the key, kid.
Yeah.
Robin was my kid sister.
Yeah,
that was
fucking
so funny.
hilarious.
I loved Jabra a lot.
I enjoyed
him
Jabra,
being
and I
just,
loved
like,
when
a tricky little guy.
Zoro and him get cuff linked, and then he uses Usopp.
Oh my god.
Or Zoro and
Yeah.
Usopp get cuff
That
linked.
was
He uses
so
Usopp
funny.
as a sword. He's like,
That was
don't
awesome.
move from that position, and he goes, I'm gonna get a lawyer.
yeah. Good fucking luck.
And
He
it's like
says
they're-
something too. He says like he like names.
keep that
He
position.
names
Yeah.
Usopp as a
the
sword.
Soge saber or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
The accidental Buster call.
Oh
Spandam
man.
just like accidentally calling the Buster call. I like Spandam a lot as a villain. I mean, I think we talked about this early, but it's just like more and more of him just being like, yeah, every mistake I made isn't actually a mistake, and I'm the greatest person that's ever lived.
He is a classic fail son, nepo baby who fails upward. Like that's kind of what he represents, and
Kind of what Helmeppo was on the
Almost.
track to be on.
Yeah.
But got
Yeah.
his shit rocked, and now that's not happening.
Yeah.
But Spandam also got his shit rocked.
A
Extremely.
I love
like 7
Like-
different
Yeah.
times.
Like a
I
times a
liked
billion.
Funk Freed, his sword.
Oh,
yeah.
His sword
The
that ate the
sword.
elephant fruit.
It is
Yeah.
cool.
And I like the way he can use it. Like it's kind of almost like he doesn't have to do anything. He just has to point it at something.
Boing.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I like
moment-
that Frankie
The
stopped
Frankie stopping it.
Yeah.
With a little flashback to the train, and then
Yeah.
he just crushes Spandam.
Because Spandam gets shot in the face by Usopp, I think a couple times. He gets smashed with his own elephant. And then he Robin, as soon as Robin gets her cuffs off, I love it. She immediately grows 6 arms on
Yeah.
Spandam
Yes.
and just starts
Yes,
slapping
bitch.
the fuck out of him.
Yes,
I could do this
And
all
then
day.
right before they escape, she grows
she
all the arms
breaks
on it
his
and
back.
breaks his back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 She wraps arms all around him and he's like, no, please, no. And just snaps him in half like a little twig.
I remember him being like, I thought she was just grappling him. I didn't know she like.
She snapped
Yeah,
him.
yeah. She like
Yeah,
snaps
yeah.
him in half.
She did like a classic Robin move. Like she's done that move on a few other people.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that's what it. I didn't know.
I was so excited when she got the cuffs off. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Because suddenly it was really just like.
Suddenly she was a force to be reckoned with again.
Yeah. It was literally just going from helpless to not. And just coincidentally, when her friends arrived,
It was
that's.
so-
And then she had the panic attack like during the Buster call.
Yeah.
That like she
Yeah.
just like
Shaking.
couldn't move again. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
She had a classic
And it's-
animated Puss in Boots like
Yeah,
anxiety.
a really like
a
realistic,
realistic depiction of a
portrayal
panic attack.
Yeah.
And then Chopper went up and like put his head on her stomach.
Yeah, her moments with Spamdom just like shoving her around and just like
That was fucked.
just
Yeah, when she starts
tormenting her.
biting
Yeah.
the...
Just
Oh,
biting the
that-
ledge.
Yeah.
That was
Because she's
yeah.
like, my friends are gonna come, say like they're gonna be here, and then they are. Frankie he tanks some bullets for her. Usopp lights them on fire.
Oh, and the moment
There was momentum in
when
these,
when they
man.
all got on the ship and she was like, "Hang on a minute, you guys. Thank you very much." That was really
Even Luffy's about to be like, wait, Rob, and she like covers his
Yeah,
mouth with
yeah.
an arm. Very good.
yeah. And fucking Kokoro's a mermaid.
Coco's a mermaid. Coco's a mermaid. That was
What?
fucking awesome. I enjoyed that a lot.
Uh-huh.
It was silly and goofy, and I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoed it.
Yeah.
The moment to when Robin comes out of the panic attack, when she's freaking out, and then Frankie like saves her and is like, we need to get going, and then she's like, hey, Frankie, I'm good now because I'm not alone this time. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, before we get into anything, because I think we're about to start coming to like our big moment, big talk thing. I want to just touch on one moment so we don't forget to talk about it. Fucking Enel's on the moon.
I am so excited.
Enel
for this.
is
Enel's
actively on the moon.
I'm so excited for this cover story.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. He's going like Dr. Manhattan.
I can't wait until that robot with skis from Wallace and Gromit like pulls up on him. He's gonna meet some moon people or something.
I love that he's looking at this barren fucking rock, and he has his arms out like, I did it, motherfucker. It's my
What
new.
do you think you're gonna do here, man? What are you gonna eat?
Yeah, you can't grow jack shit on that. I can't wait for him to figure out
he's
there's
breathing.
nothing for him up there.
He's literally just breathing.
Yeah,
I want there to be someone who like Luffy punched really high into the air, who like halfway through this cover story just hits the moon.
How come he can? Yeah, how come he's not?
Because
dead?
he turns into lightning.
I guess. Okay.
He doesn't. He's not a person.
Yeah, he got the lightning lungs.
I think so, yeah.
About Kokoro being a mermaid, by the way.
Yeah.
I at first was like, oh, well, this came out of nowhere, but this is delightful. And then I was like, oh, she's explaining she's a mermaid from Fishman Island. She's a fish person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
an
and
ice
she knew,
fish
and she was
mermaid.
so close with Tom, who was a fish man.
Yeah.
Why did I not know? Like,
Yeah.
this was actually sort of foreshadowed.
We don't know who her child is.
That's her grandchild.
It's her grandchild, but we
Yeah.
don't know who her actual child
No,
is.
we don't.
Right.
did
Not?
not meet Kokoro's child.
Yeah.
No.
IDK.
No.
There was also a frame of Robin where she was crying. I forget when,
There were a
but
lot of
her
those,
face. He drew the exact same facial
Yes.
expression as when she was a kid. The really sad, like, like where her mouth was just like,
It was.
it was just such a like
I love
sad,
her.
adorable little face.
Yeah.
A lot of
and,
great-
and it was just so like heart wrenching to see that like her grown up version do that.
Early on, we didn't talk about this. Frankie can fire his sideburns out.
What? I do not remember.
Okay,
What? I
it
don't
was
remember
early.
that.
It was when he was fighting. Him and Chopper were
Is
fighting
that
some
really
CP9s.
like a like? Is that really something you wrote down that you like had to bring?
I was like,
I appreciate
Frankie
you
can
bring.
fire
I just think it's really
his
funny.
sideburn. I wrote that like that.
They're like, guys, we gotta address that Frankie can shoot his sideburns.
I liked the game that they played where Chopper was like trying to get him soda from the fridge.
Oh my God.
And he kept getting him different drinks that weren't that, and they kept affecting him differently.
And he
And
gets the
Frankie's-
tea and he's like, calm down now, partner. Why don't you take a sip?
That's right.
And then he has the line where he's like looking at Chopper and he's like, get that fucking look of I'm gonna give him a random soda just to see what happens out of you. Because it's like, oh yeah, Chopper is 8 years old.
Yeah.
What did y'all think? There's a point, because it's the Buster call, obviously, which is like, even
God,
after
it was
fighting
done so
CP9, everything's exploding. Like, the Strides can't completely face that. Like, they have to run
Yeah.
away. But they do have a moment. They have to fight, I think, 20 captains at once, which are 200 captains at once,
Yes.
which are all people at the same rank and ability of Smoker.
And they have
Yeah.
devil
Yeah.
fruit abilities.
All of them
Yeah.
have devil.
All of-
Zoro loses a
Zoro
sword. in that
loses a
moment.
sword. Yeah.
Right, and then he steals another guy's sword.
that
to
was
have three
fucking
swords.
sick.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They didn't
So,
really go too in depth into more devil fruit abilities. We just kind of assumed that they were taking them out.
Yeah,
But
we see a guy turn into bubbles. We see a guy
yeah.
melt swords. Yeah, it's
I was like,
funny.
I went back to the anime, and I was like, okay, this is so live. Let's see how they did it. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't know why I keep doing this. It's so underwhelming. In fact, the Luffy versus the very, very intense and climactic Luffy versus Lucci fight. I saw the end of it, and I saw the comments, and the comic were like, the anime just did it so much better. And I went to the anime, and I was like, no, it didn't. I mean, there were cool. There are moments, I will say, there are moments of really intense animation and like cool like editing and stuff whenever they're actually like throwing moves down. But when it's not them throwing punches, first of all, they change a lot of the moves. But when it's not them doing that, it's just so slow and boring Yeah. And the art is so, it's like they had no budget for this. I don't know what they were talking about. I should stop complaining about the anime right now.
You guys, Gear 3 happened.
Gear 3.
It's great. It's great. The fist punching through the entire like level.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Luffy.
I don't understand exactly how he somehow blows air into his bones from his thumb.
He bites into his
bones.
That's where Attack on Titan got it.
That's another thing that I was actually gonna bring up before I even read that. I was like, his teeth are rubber, and he's like eating like basically raw meat off the bone. How the fuck is he doing? I mean, I guess he's just but he must have like the most insane like bite strength like of a fucking alligator or something.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the one day within my lifetime that Oda explains how Luffy is so physically strong. But given that I've just been forced to accept that, no, I'm sorry. I know that you say, "Oh, it's Will."
That's not what I've ever said.
You've always said, "Oh, characters are just able to do that." I have hopes that one day it will happen. Aside from that,
do you want, just for my clarity, do you want like a scientific explanation of why people are stronger?
I want to know
why Luffy's
how
different.
Luffy is so strong because he just
wants it more.
But there are so many characters that can't.
Yeah, but it's always like they come from a crazy background, and I just want to know what Luffy's background is that makes him so intense.
Yeah, you'll definitely get it.
Yeah. I don't want to. I just want to see what his regimen was in those 10 years. I know that. Yeah, I know that. Like, some characters are just strong because they just go hard. I need to know how Luffy got from 0 to 100.
Why did this guy, out of all those villagers in his village,
Yeah. We met him at 0. We flash forward. Cool. He's at 100. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'll say, like, you'll be covered.
Yeah. No, I'm not expecting to be like, and he's made of different molecules.
Yeah.
We have the technology. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But anyway, aside from that, I thought Gear 3 was really fun. I'm like, wouldn't your like body start floating because it just has more air in it?
But helium.
Like, wouldn't that
ever blown up a balloon, Josh?
Well,
another fridge magnet quote right there.
All I mean is like, how does he have so much more mass if it is like air has mass, but like it's gonna be a lot more buoyant now because it's very less
I think
dense,
the implication, and it's not I think that there's kind of an implication that his body is working different than actual rubber is, because obviously if it was real rubber, the density would be so much lighter if he was actually being stretched like that.
Yeah.
But I think there's not really a limit to Luffy's, like, how much he can stretch. I think it's something a little bit more, like, crazy that comes from the devil fruit. So I think he's making his fist that big, but because it's a devil fruit and it's not actually, like, real rubber being stretched like that, it has the mass of a fist that is that size would.
It's almost like it's like adding like hand skin.
Yeah, he's growing more hand basically. Is like that's not explicitly said, but it's kind of the only reason it makes sense.
It's like this is how he stretches so much because even normal rubber wouldn't stretch that much. It has a limit, but since it's like devil fruit no limit, it's like that's the cheat code to add more rubber.
I was surprised that Gear 3 was not an extension of Gear 2, but a completely different technique altogether. I like Gear 2. Gear 2's technique is amazing. I love that he figured out, like, I need my blood to pump faster, so I'm going to use my legs as pistons to do that. So cool. And makes him really a threat to be reckoned with. Gear 3 just makes him a fucking monster.
He destroyed a warship.
Yeah.
Almost single-handed.
And Lucci was having fun with it, too.
Yeah.
He was like, this is kind of fun. I'm enjoying
we got
myself.
Lucci's backstory.
We got Lucci backstory, which I just realized on the second, until my second read-through, that Lucci killed the hostages, not the pirates.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's the dark justice at work.
I like that he had dark justice as a motto, and that's dark justice, Luffy. That's what I call it.
That, we're not too cramped, but we're getting close-ish on time. Should we talk about the Mary? any more than we already did. I don't know.
One more thing before we talk about the
Of course.
The way that Usopp's mask off moment gets to Luffy and gives him the strength to take out Lucci.
Yeah.
Which was such a intense fight, the way it was drawn, the way it was paced. I actually really liked. I thought it was. I was in my heart of hearts, I was hoping it would be something a little crazier or more clever, but I do like that it had that as a button of like. Usopp gave Luffy even more belief in himself than he already had. And so I thought that was pretty wonderful.
In the end, after they tore themselves apart, the thing that saves the day in this whole shebang is the bond between Usopp and Luffy.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And he has that moment where he's just like where he put the Sniper King mask like back on and was like, he's not ready yet. I was like, okay, Usopp, shut the fuck up. Go say, don't do that. Go hug your friend. But all right.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy that Luffy fought so hard that he legitimately couldn't move. And I liked that, like, after that, like, after there was, the fight was over, that they just, like, didn't give up on the fact that Luffy was done. Like, he could not fucking move.
Robin had to, like...
dump him.
Oh, that was such a great moment, though. They were, like, jump into the sea. That was great. Because that was...
I really liked how Spam could not get over... He always had to rationalize how it's possible that they keep winning. He's like, well, there's no way they could have beaten all the CP9. They just stole the keys and ran away. Yeah, that makes me feel better. He just was like, why can't we get 6 fucking pirates? He was like having a meltdown at one point. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I hope he gets publicly executed too.
Me too. Me too.
Seeing Aokiji coming in at the end and being like, this was a complete and utter defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, it's, to me at least, I kind of is like, Aokiji, you could stop them. Like, you definitely could stop
100%. He is
you could literally, we've seen, you could freeze the fucking ocean if you wanted to.
He's off the clock.
Yeah, 100%. He doesn't want to, and I think, just interpreting, I think we're probably supposed to assume that he's a little bit happy for Nico Robin getting away.
Well,
because there's also the whole thing of like, I could also see Aokiji also being like, yeah, fuck, I gave you the Buster call, and like with Spandam basically making orders on Aokiji's behalf without doing anything, I could also very easily see like, yeah, you dug your own grave. I'm not bailing you out of this. You know.
Yeah.
There's no Luffy is literally probably the number one most wanted person in the entire world right now. Like, I don't think there's like any doubt about that.
I hope all the Straw Hats now have bounties after this.
For
100%.
sure.
Because right now it's just because until this point it's just been Luffy, Pirate Hunter Zoro, and Nico Robin. So
what if not Robin? What if Chopper's picture though is like not baby Chopper? It's the monster.
That would be so
wanted. The freak.
Yeah, it'd be cool though if it was his baby face. Like, that'd be funny.
Like, how do they know?
It's like 100 million. There was a moment where he was like, I can't move.
So what do y'all, just off the top of your head, Luffy, what's Luffy's current bounty?
Like
100 million?
100 million.
What do y'all think after this, all the crew, if we're assuming that everybody got a bounty, what do y'all think it would be?
Luffy's is 100 million right
100
now?
million right now.
I feel like
I think he's gonna break $1 billion.
Yeah, for sure. You don't think so?
I think it'll be really funny.
I think it's gonna take a while to get there.
If the way that Chopper and before we answer that question, real quick, I think it'd be really funny if the way that Chopper and Luffy find out that Sniper King was Usopp is because the wanted poster has like a picture of Sniper King and says Usopp.
Usopp Davis or whatever his last name is.
Yeah,
I think everyone's is gonna be at least doubled. I'll say.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Luffy goes to $1 billion.
What's the highest bounty we know of right now from someone else?
I think the highest bounty that we know of is Luffy's.
Is Luffy?
There's got to be bigger ones though.
Maybe it's like
some of
9.
the other. We knew the previous bounties of
Of the Warlords.
Oh, yeah,
some
yeah.
of the Warlords, and those were in like the 300 million.
Those were canceled.
Maybe
obviously,
he's got
but
like
yeah.
500 million, maybe on the low end.
I could see 5.
Oh, by the way, Baroque Works had a little reunion.
Yes, bitch.
The Baroque Works Union.
And Mr. 0 through 4 are now, or 0 through 3 are going to be incarcerated in Impel Down.
Yes.
Jail
That's awesome.
time.
Interesting
Jail time.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I think, what was I going to fucking say?
But okay, so the Straw Hats got away not past the gates, right?
No.
Okay, yeah.
They retreated back towards
gates were closed.
Water 7.
True. Yeah. But okay, what about Mary? Were you asking? Like,
I guess I didn't think about that. We already mostly talked about the Viking funeral.
Yeah.
I guess is there anything else about the arc to talk about before we move on to our closing thing?
I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about.
yeah, I just am honestly surprised that the Going Merry is not going to be the ship from now on. Like, I really can't see any other option at this point.
Yeah.
I think the One Piece is over.
It really doesn't feel real. That's where I'm at.
The Going Merry is just iconic. I mean, I've got the little Going Merry up there. I desperately want to get. Obviously, the Straw Hats are going to need a new ship. I don't think it's spoilers to say that there's a new one. I want to get that one next, so I can have both of them up there.
That'd be cool.
But
I have a couple
Mary.
closing things before we get to our
What's
next
up?
segment. One, there were some volume covers and some chapter covers that were amazing, beautiful stuff. There's one where they're in the clouds, and then you see this tropical like coastal town below them. I almost considered making my new background for my laptop. There's a volume cover with Nico Robin in the center with her leather outfit on.
Oh, the volume.
Volume
cover.
44 is
Yeah.
volume cover.
Was
Volume
awesome.
44.
For sure.
And there was there's some other stuff. Oh, and I saw the volume cover of the next volume.
Yeah.
I am so excited to read that.
crazy cover, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we want to do we all see it? Do we want to talk about what's on it?
Yeah, it's just the cover.
We've all seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I flipped my shit.
Yes.
How many stars do we have on that? Obviously,
got
Luffy in the center, Ace,
Blackbeard.
Whitebeard, Shanks,
And a new military guy that
Yeah.
we haven't
Fucking
seen.
Not a
Kobe.
new
Kobe and
guy.
Helmeppo are on
Kobe and
there.
Helmeppo
Which
are
is
on. I assume is Helmeppo.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think I looked at the other two
Dude, the
guys.
other
I thought
two
that was
guys.
just two goons.
Yeah.
And we can
It's
also,
Garp.
'Cause he
by
looks
seeing
better.
that, we can say that guy, I think we've only seen him with his little dog thing
Yep.
on, that we're looking at Mr. Garp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally telling Josh how crazy it is that was the cover, because I feel like every time I'm like craving a character to come back, like they come back instantly after I have that thought, because literally just that day before I was like, I haven't seen Kobe in a while. I wouldn't mind seeing Kobe again, and I've been dying to see Ace again.
That's what happens because
Yeah.
that's what happens to Oda.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, nah, I miss Kobe. And then
Yes.
I see him.
Every chapter we read, I'm like, Shanks come back, Shanks come back, Shanks come
Yeah.
back. Blackbeard, Whitebeard, I want to know more, I want to know more. Ace, I miss you so much. And this looks like it's going to be
So
a fucking
I'm
hell
so
of a
excited.
homework. So excited. Also, I will say, one of the first spoilers I ever saw for One Piece before I ever even considered reading it was there was a little guy with purple pink hair who had a facelift in One Piece, who looked like a bored ape, and then he got more of like a cool One Piece face, and it
It's
was
not much
Kobe.
of a spoiler, but
Well, I knew that he was going to come. So I knew that this guy we meet in the first volume, who we never see again, I knew of. Eventually, he was going to come back, and he was going to look way cooler. And
you
so
really
far,
didn't think we were going to see Kobe? You thought it was up for debate whether we would see Kobe again?
I know, because I was spoiled.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Yeah, when Kobe
Yeah, it's
showed
pretty
up, I was
obvious.
like, this is gonna be really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm actually so excited because he was kind of an annoying little bugger, but like that was kind of the.
I'm really
liked
excited
him.
because he's
the
I
first-
think he's like the biggest foil to Luffy
Yeah.
we've seen so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah,
and
for
he's
sure.
Luffy's first companion on his journey.
Yes, literally.
Like they meet Zoro together.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Helmeppo looks like Miki Taka with a blindfold on. Miki Taka being the alien in part 4,
Real.
from what I can tell. So, fun fact about that.
Is that
Are we
all
ready
of-
to get into our little final thing?
Yeah. Overall, though,
Great.
Enies Lobby was very, 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 very good.
Yeah.
If I don't know, are we done with Enies Lobby, or after this homework, are we going to be officially done?
We are done with the arc known as Enies Lobby. However, we're moving on to a small arc that we're going to read the entirety of, called Post Enies Lobby.
Oh, okay.
Well, I should say, as of right now, should I consider Enies Lobby and Water 7 one big saga?
I don't think so.
It is one saga,
Oh, okay.
but two different arcs.
As a saga, I think this might be my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's,
That makes
it's,
sense.
it's-
hands down.
It's kind of Alabaster's right there, but I think it's my favorite one. But
Yeah.
let's move on. I think we have a little thing we got to do, right?
Yeah.
True. Before we do that, though, I'm about to ask for your opinions, of course, of the Straw Hats. Before we do that, I want to ask for y'all's opinions. I just want to hear it. We're at kind of a landmark. I just want to check in and see how y'all are feeling about One Piece.
That's so funny because I was literally like, the next thing I was going to say was I was going to ask you about how you're feeling about us reading One Piece. Because like, is this everything you've hoped for, or?
So many moments have made me very happy. I remember specifically because I've already said that I Want to Live is a very big moment for me, and as y'all were like texting me towards the end of that homework, I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
It was beautiful.
I'm really glad y'all are liking it. It's going, especially like in Hayden's case, better than I could have ever hoped.
Right.
He texted me.
It's all I think about.
He texted me the other day and says that he wants to get an Usopp tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking
100%.
god.
I'm gonna wait until we're
That's
like
crazy.
caught up, but
Yeah.
Usopp means a lot to me.
Slay.
Usopp's awesome. So it's going
Try
great
hard.
for me. I'm pretty happy. But
Yeah.
That's how I
before
feel
that,
about Hayden.
I want to
Okay.
hear from each of y'all what y'all think of One Piece. And I remember specifically, I think early on, we got to Arlong Park, and Josh, you said, I'm really enjoying One Piece. But I would not yet say I love One Piece. And answer truthfully and with your heart. I want to hear what y'all are thinking.
Let me start by showing you the very last thing that I said in my notes of chapter 430. Look at the bottom.
The bottom, One Piece, I love you. Yeah, baby.
This is I have really, really liked and loved many parts of One Piece, but I think it's just been overall pretty consistent enough to where I can definitely say that while I'm still not in a place where I'm obsessing over it, I do think about it. I think about it quite often, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of aspects of it that I find just inspiring. And yeah, I love it. I'm at a point now where I could say I love it. I think the rest of it would really have to be mid as fuck for me to not feel that way anymore. Yeah. No, go ahead. You guys go ahead.
You're done?
I'm gonna ask you the same question when we get to the end of part 4, so be ready
Sure.
for that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I fucking loved it. This is one of my favorite
What?
things. I talk about it constantly.
I don't believe you.
I have probably exhausted people who don't care about One Piece in me just talking about One Piece.
Yeah, like me, Adriana, and Clayton.
It's constantly on my mind. I want to spend a lot of money on it.
Aren't you
Doesn't
happy?
matter on what.
Yeah, truly, I'm a weak man. I want to play the card game so fucking bad.
Aren't you glad that there's like 670 more chapters of One Piece?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad that there's like a billion things merch that you can buy?
Yeah. I
hey,
can't look at it every time I go to this store to get my physical One Piece. And I have to like walk through it like it's fucking landmines. 'Cause whenever I get over to One
Right.
Piece, I look around and I'm like, everything around me is spoilers.
Is a
And I keep
spoiler.
catching like half glances where my eyes recognize that something is One Piece, and I have to like rip myself away.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
I know you can't make it to IkiCon after all, but unfortunately, but I'll if I see anything in the dealer's room, I'll
Please do. Please
I'll
send
let
me
you
a message.
know,
I'll be near my
and I'll
phone
get
and
it in
I'll
your
like
behalf.
I'm really scared for y'all. I'm
Oh well,
genuinely
you'll be
so
there to
scared.
guide us. I should say
I'm gonna
if
do my
Clayton
best.
sees anything.
But y'all are both going to be dressed as important characters
true,
in One
yeah,
Piece. And
yeah.
So I'm worried that people are going to be like, yo, when you kill this guy. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
You need like a fucking badge on you, like a
Don't
necklace
talk to me.
that says we are reading. We are just on chapter X. Please don't say any
We're in
spoilers.
post
Yeah.
Enies Lobby. I'm so happy to be in the know about the hype and like the zeitgeist that is this best-selling in the world comic series.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
I still feel like we haven't seen anything yet, though.
I also am.
Yeah.
So I feel like I definitely like it a lot. What's making me hesitate just the tiniest bit is like,
how good JoJo is. I know.
no, it's like I am having trouble separating, I guess, One Piece from like, I don't know, the experience of like reading it with you guys. I feel like I don't know if I would have had the motivation to continue up to this point if it weren't like in this book club-esque like format or anything, you know?
That's fair.
So once I'm like on Hayden's level of, oh, let me read the chapters right now, like I can't wait, and it's not just so that I'm caught up for the homework of this podcast. I think that's when I can say like, okay, yeah, I'm obsessed with one. You know?
Hell yeah.
I think it's also there's so much One Piece we don't know yet. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little early to say I love what One Piece is now. I definitely at this point in One Piece, everything we've read, I can say overall I do love it. But when I feel like I'm gonna need to get at least to like whatever that fucking time skip happens to know how I feel, because I know that pre-time skip One Piece is kind of viewed as its own thing.
I that's what it is. I don't feel initiated yet. That's what it is. So I love this story so far, for sure. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, I don't feel like a fully initiated fan yet. You know?
Well, because we're not even halfway through.
Yeah.
Which is so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And
that
I
makes me so giddy.
I don't know if you feel this way about JoJo, but I'm at the point in One Piece where I'm almost like in conflict. I'm in turmoil where I'm like, I want to be caught up so fucking bad. I want to know everything about this, but I am so I'm so enjoying the ride and the journey that I don't know how to feel about it.
I will say, I think I've talked about this off the pod. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on the pod. The overwhelming desire to quit this podcast only so that I can just read One Piece with no limits
Like,
on me.
all the way
Brother,
through.
go ahead. We will replace you in
Yeah.
an instant.
Dude,
Not true.
Not true.
my finger is like hovering over the AO3 link button on my phone, and I'm like having to like physically stop myself because it's just too dangerous. I just can't yet.
Well, is it time we get into rankings?
I think
Last
let's get
little
into
thing.
some G-Dam rankings.
Why don't you go first?
Sure thing. I'll go quick because mine is not. I've known mine for a while, and I think it's probably not going to look too dissimilar to last time.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to base it off like what we've seen so far, but
Yeah.
I can only do that so much. Bottom of the list again. Love this guy. I love him. Zoro is going to be the bottom for me.
Wow.
He's cool. He has a lot of great moments. But he kind of, to me, does two things, which is be cool. And then the moments where I think he's really written well is when he really leans into his role as a first mate.
Yes. He had a lot of good moments. We didn't talk about that. A lot of good moments in Enies Lobby where he was doing his first mate duty.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, right above that, again, love this character so much. But he's towards the bottom of my list. That's going to be Chopster. I love him. He's super cute. He is, of all the characters in One Piece, I think he's the only one that I like want them tattooed on my body because Chopper's so cute. I could get away with it. It wouldn't look weird.
Yeah.
No.
I
would if I was a tattoo person, I would get the monster form Chopper tattoo. That'd be sick as hell.
I'd get like Boba Fett or something.
I get Baby Groot. And then Nami is going to be the next person on my list. Again, this top 5 is like so solid. All characters that I absolutely adore. but Nami is going to come in down here for me. Mostly just because I think that these other characters are typically go through like emotional turmoil a lot of times and shine a little bit brighter for me. Like right above her is going to be Mr. Usopp, who I know is going to be probably a little bit higher for some of the rest of you. Nothing against Usopp, just these top 3 for me are like in my top 3 characters in One Piece. And I love them all dearly. That's going to be number 3 of these is going to be Robin. Mm-hmm. Amazing. So many great moments with her. She's one of the best written characters in One Piece. She makes me cry. Number 2, Sanji. He's always doing that cool stuff. And he has a really big heart is my favorite thing about Sanji. And he's so cool. And then number 1 is, of course, Mr. Luffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Hayden next?
All right. Bottom of my list, like Clayton, is Zoro.
Fuck that guy.
I like Zoro a lot.
I hate him.
just doesn't. Yeah. Up above him again. A character I thoroughly enjoy, but just as of right now, he's fine. It's Sanji. Mm-hmm. It's Sanji, and then right above Sanji, we got Chopper. I love Chopper. Same reasons. He's very cute. He's very fun. I like that he has a lot going on right now, and I'm excited to see him grow a lot more. Above Chopper is Nami. I enjoy Nami quite a bit. And then right above Nami, we got Robin. Then Luffy. Then my number 1 is Usopp right now. I can't. He's just everything. He's everything. He's everything.
I don't want to close my eyes.
Josh, go.
I'm gonna go last if that's okay.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. It's not that I'm not taking this seriously.
Yeah.
I'm just not a ranking person.
That's
so
okay.
I'm literally don't even like what I say might not even be.
Then I guess I really am going last.
Okay.
Who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite?
Robin, favorite. Maybe Usopp.
I'm gonna throw you.
For number 2?
Son. Oh, wait. I thought you were saying for your
You didn't
least
specify
favorite.
you were not putting them in order.
Oh, well, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Robin,
Hey,
Usopp.
You're going down the
Fuck.
list. Right?
Yeah, Robin, Usopp. I liked Zoro a lot. I'm gonna put him there. Why not?
Nice.
Zoro. No, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Chopper, Nami. That's where I'm at right now.
Nice.
So I'm gonna preface this with, the first time we did this, we had 5 Straw Hats, right?
Yes.
Since then, we've added Chopper
Now
and Robin.
we
have
yes.
7. So some things have changed.
Sure.
I don't know if y'all remember.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go. I don't remember what exactly my list was back then, but I know that like y'all were like, "What?" when I said Luffy was like my number 4.
I do not remember.
Y'all were like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Let's get into this list. At the bottom, number 7, Chopper.
Chopster.
I do not like. I'm kidding. I love Chopper. I love everyone on this list. Mm-hmm. Chopper, I think, still needs some development. Maybe I don't know. Sanji is going to be a number 6. Yeah. Again, I love Sanji. He's been kind of though since Baratier. He has been. He's kind of done 2 or 3 things. It feels like kind of how you feel about Zoro is kind of how I feel about Sanji. This is crazy for me to say, but in number 5 is Nami. Nami was my favorite last time we talked about this. And I feel like she just hasn't had the same level of focus. She's still great. Every time she opens her beautiful mouth, it's something brilliant is coming out of there. You know, she's wonderful. She's integral to the crew. I love her, but she has not shined in a while.
Yeah.
Not since like Alabasta.
That's why she was down on my list too.
Number 4, Luffy. I love Luffy.
Yeah.
I don't have anything bad to say. I'm still waiting for him to have some more challenges that are like, but like in emotional challenges.
Okay.
He's definitely had some. I really appreciated that he has taken the physical challenge, but he's pretty much been on wipeout for like weeks now. But like, I'm waiting for him to have like some more emotional journey.
Another Vivi Luffy debate type.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like that.
yes.
Yeah.
But he's grown so much though. Still, getting in the top 3. Number 3, Zoro. This guy for me is just always killing it.
He is.
Number 2, this is fucking insane. Usopp was at the bottom of my list last time. He is now number 2 for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how Oda did it, but I fucking love Usopp now. I think his character has been expanded by leagues.
Yeah.
And I'm so attached to his journey now. And at the top we got Nico Robin.
Yeah, baby.
She's wonderful. She's intense, mysterious. I am a little worried that now that she's had her huge arc, she's not going to be as much in focus, and maybe she's going to become a little less.
I'm worried about that too.
A little more one note maybe, but I'm sure that even when those Straw Hats are not focused on and are kind of one note, they still contribute, and they still take up the background very well.
I feel like Robin is going to actually, because like right now with everything else, we haven't focused on Robin like most of the arcs. I'm excited because I feel like after this arc, she's going to become an actual crew member more than just somebody who's with the crew.
I'm curious to see how her behavior changes.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how Usopp is gonna how he's gonna try to reintegrate into the crew, if at all.
Yeah, as of right now, Mr. Usopp is not a Straw Hat pirate.
There's definitely gonna be
They're
a
gonna
resolution.
kiss.
Yeah.
I'm
whatever.
wondering if anyone's gonna be like hesitant to let him back on.
No,
Okay.
I
I feel
Because-
like there's no character that's gonna be like
Zoro.
maybe will be like, okay.
I feel like Zoro's gonna be like, you have to
He's got to do something.
you have to take the physical challenge if you're
You
gonna
have to
be
beat
that.
me in a
You
fight.
have to beat me. You have to arm wrestle me.
I think that we saw how everyone reacted though, because everyone fucking knew it was Usopp. Everyone knew Sniper King was Usopp, and they were like, "Oh, hi, Usopp." Like they were cool with it, you know. But like Chopper and Luffy are the only ones who didn't know, and I think the real beef was with Luffy. So that's I think that'll be resolved.
We also, though, know that Usopp has not yet been ready to face his comrade.
Yeah, he cried about the going merry in the mask. He couldn't even he's still. That was so funny when they were like on the merry escaping, and then Luffy's like, Where'd Usopp go? And Sanji's like, you can take the mask off now. He's like, it's not time. I can't.
Or the Sniper King is the new Straw Hat.
Yeah.
You guys.
That would be so
Luffy
funny.
doesn't find out for the rest of One Piece.
That would be really funny.
Clayton, you want to give us our homework?
Homework time, everybody. We just read 30 chapters of One Piece. Next week, I hope y'all like reading a lot because we're going to be reading 33. That's not true.
Oh.
We're going to be reading the
would've
next
done it too.
11 chapters.
Okay.
From chapter 431 to 441. This is a small batch, but it's action-packed. Not with like action, but there's a lot of cool stuff in it.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm so excited. And for JoJo, because we are going back to our normal format.
JoJo.
Are you excited? Are you excited to watch more JoJo?
No. Yes, I am. I'm quite excited because we're getting into the nitty gritty of it. We're gonna hit the nitty gritty.
Yeah. You are about to watch 4 episodes.
4 episodes.
4 episodes of Diamond is Unbreakable.
Okay.
Known collectively as July 15th, Thursday.
I saw. So this is all. Is this all going to be taking place over one day?
I mean, I don't know. You might have to watch and see.
Okay.
Just
They all
know
are
that
called
every
July-
episode is called July 15th, and the episode names normally are like some
About
kind of
what
about what
happens
happens.
They're typically related.
Yeah.
And then after that, we are discussing the finale and the entirety, really, of part 4 in one special JoJo episode.
But that's the one after next.
But that's
time.
the one after
Yay.
next week. So stay tuned
Yay.
and follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter at Hadpod
Instagram.
Crusaders. And you know what? We don't have Instagram yet. And also, maybe by the time this comes out, we will. Also, freaking subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Do it.
And with that,
Go see the cool thumbnails Josh makes. And with that,
And with that,
And with that,
we love
we
you.
love you.
Good
night.
night.
We have to stop doing that.